So hello everyone, I know it's been a long time, but I'm back with another Toilet Time Girl Tips. Though I'm technically not in the toilet, I'm actually in the bath this time, so something a bit different. And this episode is all going to be about kissing. I think it's a fantastic pastime. I enjoy kissing. I think it's underrated in this day and age. I'm just going to give you what I have classed as my 5-step technique. I've never had any complaints. I consider myself a good kisser, if you push me to say that. So I'll pass on my wisdom. I won't tell you everything I do. I like to keep some secrets. So if there's any ladies watching out there, you know, this isn't it. Like that. There's more. But so what I'll do is I'll take you through each step, what they're called, and then what I'll do is I'll add a specific technique at the end of what I would do at this stage. And some of them I've given them all names. Everything should be named these days. So jump straight into it. So I'll introduce the 5 steps and go through them one by one in more detail. Thank you. So the 5 steps. Step 1 is the approach. Step 2 is the climb. Step 3 is the peak. Step 4, the slide. And step 5 is the return. So what I've tried to do straight off the bat is create the image of a mountain. You go up it, you reach the top. Best bit is the top, then you come back down. That's a metaphor for emotions and such, pleasure, whatever. Right, so stage 1, the approach. Probably one of the most important stage, because immediately right off the bat, as a guy, you have to A, sense the mood, and you have to B, take the lead. Unfortunately, even though we're in the age of the empowerment of women, we still have sort of traditional roles in a relationship, therefore a man is expected to take the lead. So you have to do that. That doesn't mean too aggressive. I've written the word assertive down here. That's what you want to be. You want to make your point that you're interested in the girl and that you quite enjoy her company, and then serenade with the kiss, then leave. You're not necessarily saying, I want to take you round this alleyway and sort of have sex with you. Although, you know, you do get those odd occasions, each to their own. So sense the mood. Is this going to be the kiss of the woman you go and marry, maybe you really like, and you think, I want to make a really romantic kiss, something off a Hollywood film? Or is it, again, I've met her in a club, but I do quite like her, something a bit... So that's going to dictate what sort of pace, we're going to go through pace a lot in here, dictate what pace you play. So things to consider in the approach is hands. So again, experiment what you prefer. Do you go for 2 hands or 1? I tend to think 2 hands gives the sense of protection, which is quite a nice feeling for a woman, I'm told. That sort of comfort that, you know, you've got your arms around her, she's safe in that environment. Or the 1 hand, which is a bit more subtle, a bit more confident. But hands are a big part in the kiss, and people forget that. So eye contact. I think it's good to have eye contact. Eye contact signifies passion. I wouldn't say stare like that, you know, like pedo stare. Otherwise, and I wouldn't close your eyes either, like when you're in the playground and go, No, we're getting rid of that. We're in the big leagues now. Whew. I'm out of breath again. I'm sweating. The bath's quite hot, but it is a right bath. And don't just stick with the face. You might want to consider putting your arm on her shoulder, something quite gentle. Consider the ears, the neck. All these things come into play, and it's really about finding your style. And I would say at this point, keep it classy. Don't jump in. You know, this is the approach. This is before you even touch lips. This is that point, the stage before you get to that. So keep it classy. Don't be too aggressive again. Keep it assertive. So my technique for this is one I call the mandible palm. The mandible is the scientific name for the jaw. So what you're going to do is you're going to grab her ear lobe and palm the bottom at the start of her jaw. You're then going to come across like that, and then to get 2 fingers on the chin. Then you're going to pull her into you. That's your approach. That's the mandible palm. Keep it slow, keep it gentle. Very good technique. I'm really proud of the mandible palm. I've spent years coming up with that. Lots of practice as well. Ooh. So, step 2, the climb. Points to consider. Hands again. What I would suggest as a starting point before you find your rhythm is hands play a big part in the approach, but not so much in the climb and not so much in the peak, but then you want to bring them back at the end. So I would generally say probably lose 2 hands certainly. You might want to keep one gentle hand, the finger, thumb on the chin, the index finger and the thumb on the chin is good, it's nice, gentle, but certainly I would lose 2 hands. Because at this point you're connecting with each other through the lips, you're playing on those senses, those feelings. The hands are more of a guide to say you do what I want to do. So now it's a bit more about getting the woman involved after you've took the lead. Tongue, it's a good stage to introduce the tongue. Again, I wouldn't dive straight in with the full tongue. My tongue's quite big, so I wouldn't go diving in with it and feel the back of her, feel her tonsils with it. Certainly not. I might just dabble in there, just to feel her tongue, and that way, if she's giving back with the tongue, then I know she might like tongues, because I've met women who don't really like it. I've met women that really do like it. Personally, I do quite like it. I think it's nice. But remember, consider pace, and I've put this quote, you don't run up Everest, you walk up it. So, no one gets to the peak. Again, mountains. No one gets to the peak, by running. It's just not possible. No shortcuts. You walk it, you get to the top. It's much better when you put the effort in. Much more pleasurable. And don't be afraid to take it slow. Also consider whether you want to come out and go back in. I find that quite romantic, to come out. Once you've locked lips, that's not it. You can come out, and you might want to consider which side you're taking, because I like to approach direct, square, but then naturally you kiss at opposite angles. If you see what I'm saying, I've only got one hand to manoeuvre with. Some other hands on my penis, if I'm being honest. Not masturbate. So, and your flare technique is the tease, and this is the idea that you don't always have to even use lips in the climb. You might want to go close to her, maybe join foreheads, but keep it at an angle, and just see how she's going. Her breathing should increase if she's very into you, and your breathing should increase. And you might want to go in and then pull back out, and you're teasing, you're building that anticipation without physical doing. And eventually, when we describe the peak, you realise that you can get to the peak without actually ever locking lips, because you build up that tension to the point where she gives in, and she's just, I need your lips now. I need your lips now, Connor. So the peak, I've always put in brackets, anything goes. Perhaps not anything. You might want to consider what's within the bounds of the law. I'd always say, follow the law. Right, so you want to consider aggressiveness. This is probably the stage where you can be a bit more aggressive. You're less controlled. It's a bit more letting yourself go, playing off each other. Where's the kiss going? Is it sped up dramatically? Is it still going quite slow? You feed off that. It's also the most acceptable stage where you can add tongue, and you can add sort of deep tongue, mid tongue, full tongue, biting tongue, perhaps. That's advanced technique. Don't be licking her whole mouth. That's probably, but keep it tasteful. Your speed, again, like I said, you've built up to this peak in speed as well, so you can go faster. It's very much your emotional peak, your pleasure peak, the peak. So go fast if she's going fast. Very, you'll know, it's hard to describe, but naturally humans, we sort of have a rapport with each other, so you'll know what speed she wants to go, and you'll also have, you know, be dictating speed. So and I've not gone into much detail about the peak because it's very much whatever the mood is. If it's very sexual, it's probably a good place where you can introduce hands in places other than the face. I'm not saying breasts, I'm not saying vagina, I'm saying tasteful caressing of the curves. But you know, she wants you to grab tits, she wants you to grab tits. Each to their own, like I've said. So again, very much discover your own style, play with each other. You can do it in the peak. You can get away with a lot in the peak that you can't get away with an approach. The peak's very easy go, and the approaches are very much, you can make or break the kiss before you even start. That's why the approach is important. So Adam Flair, what I call this one, the forceful finale. So what that is technique I do where once you've sensed it, because you want to be kissing forever, all good things come to an end, so you peak. Once you've ended, I like to grab the back of her head very gently with the ears and push her off me and push her head up, so it's like this. And then at the bottom of her neck, you're going to just blow, and you're going to blow right up to her chin and then pull back and go on to the next stage. It's quite forceful. You have to already set the pace, set the tone, and she has to be very into you to get that. But it's a very powerful technique. You're also using elements of that tease I said earlier, and blowing quite a gentle feeling. So it's still classy, so it's not, I'm eating this neck like here. Step 4, the slide, like you're sliding down the mountain. We're going down now, we've passed the peak. You've got to be thinking about ending now. So again, consider your pace. It should really be the stage where you start to slow down. Eye contact, you probably close your eyes, very pleasurable. So eye contact, you might want to bring it back. Again, that deep eye contact, very romantic. Breath play, sometimes I think it's quite nice to pull back when she's there and sort of play off each other's breath. Obviously, she's got stinky breath, you might not want to do that. Or if you have stinky breath, just breathe into each other. And at this point, your breathing should be quite high paced because you just feel something very nice and your heart rate's increased. It's the natural feelings we humans get with human connection between a male and a female, or man and male, you know. You get what I mean. Very small, that. Probably the smallest part of the kiss. So your additional flair, I threw in a bonus one, didn't I? The lingering pull. Now what you want to do is, once you're pulling back, your body position is moving away from her, you might want to just grab onto her bottom lip. It's better with the bottom lip, it seems more elastic, might just be me. But you're going to sort of gently suck on it and pull it back. And sort of just keep it there for a bit before letting go. That's a good technique. Also the stethoscope. You can actually combine these two, but you know, that's going to take time for you to learn that sport. The stethoscope, so you're going to feel her heartbeat with this part of your chest, and sort of going to have to push her away. Just get right in her sternum, right in the middle, and just gently push her away. And what you'll feel is a resistance for her because she wants to be close to you. It's quite a nice sort of medium there. You're obviously not going to push her away, you're not going to punch her, just gently. You can feel her heartbeat, and if it's fast, it will be a good indication that she really likes you. So moving on to step 5. So I've been going on 14 minutes. I'm going to try and keep under 10, but I could literally give an hour-long lecture on this. I'm sure Oxbridge will be phoning up with my honorary doctorate in kissology. That's a real thing. Looked up. it's not. The return. So the return, you're going back to normal. Consider your lips. Probably shouldn't be anything, you know, the linger and pull is your 4th stage. Your 5th stage should probably be no lips, although you might want to go back in for a little peck, for anything that's acceptable. And consider it a good place to end. You've blown away with these techniques, this kiss. Don't go back to the peak. You can't go back. It'll never be as good as that. You need to start again. You know, if you can't keep your hands off each other, yeah, it's great, but it will not be pleasurable. You can't go back. You can go back round the mountain and start again. That's fine, but you can never go from 5 to 3. You know. Body position, you should be moving back, like I've said. Words, do you want to add language or do you want to leave it speechless? It's up to you. Probably nice, what if you just whispered wow in her ear, even if you didn't like it? It's nice, isn't it? Be a nice person. And you add and flare, your technique for this one is the Eskimo sign-off. So what I like to do is, the nose actually is quite a nice size for the mouth, so I quite like to sort of get your lips around it, and gently kiss it, and then, sorry I've got this mixed up, you pull, go forehead to forehead in that lean position I've already mentioned, and just Eskimo kiss it, you know. Circles, rotations, side to side, up and down, just a bit. Tasteful amount of Eskimo kiss, quite unique, it's quite quirky as well. And then you're just going to land a gentle kiss on her nose, and that's the Eskimo sign-off. I'll also throw in a cheeky technique of how to get a kiss in a sort of club, nightclub, bar scenario. So what's going to happen is going to be loud music. So cheeky technique, pretend not to hear her. That way you can whisper in her ear, and what happens is your cheeks will already touch her. So when you pull out, you're going to brush like this and get to this position to speak again. At that point, you're practically kissing. That's your approach. So see you later. Swell on those. Come back with your own style. I'll probably be making sweet bucks and landing some sweet chicks with this video, so you probably won't see me again for a while. So thanks, and see you later. Enjoy yourself, and enjoy lots of safe kissing.